everybody, we have Laura in the house, and Laura, she has her own business in Mexico and also now in the UK. So her insight today gonna inspire a lot of you maybe start your business. So Laura, can you introduce a bit about you, because a lot of friends probably never met you before? Yeah.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here and share a little bit about my experience with you. My name is Laura Vanessa Munoz. I'm originally from Mexico, and now I'm a social entrepreneur. And I was awarded with Achieving a Scholarship in 2006. So I was very, very lucky to get it. And I worked very hard when I was very young to actually achieve it. And I did an international public relations master's degree at Cardiff University.
Wow.
And then I went back to Mexico for 6 years. And I went back to Mexico obviously because I wanted to do a lot of stuff for Mexico, especially about education, public relations, and people's development, because that's what I'm passionate about. So when I went back to Mexico, I was able to work for an international public relation firm. And I think I learned a lot about process, so how the business is done basically. And also, I was able to get more of an international mindset. I think coming to the UK to study and winning the scholarship really opened my eyes to the world. And then I was listening to everybody's stories, and I had amazing classmates as well, and housemates at university. And you seeing all these people with different dreams and aims and goals, it actually inspired me to want to do bigger and better. I think before starting the master degree, I had some certain dreams, and then after that my mind just opened a lot, and I had bigger dreams, and I had a more of an international mindset. So like I said, I went back to Mexico. I worked for a big PR firm there. I learned a lot about business processes and how to generate income from a business point of view and so on. And then I went back to lecturing, because actually that's my first passion. I was a teacher and I was a young lecturer, and that's how I won the scholarship. And when I was back lecturing, I thought we need to innovate the way we teach, because as students we learn more by doing.
Yep.
And I don't know you guys, but I learn when I do things.
Yeah, experiments and practice. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
I thought you continue.
Yeah, well, so like I said, so that was my first thing, but obviously after having the experience in working with these big brands and stuff, I thought, well, I want to continue having like this experience. So I was lecturing part-time, and then part-time I was running my own PR agency in Mexico, and I had a great team. And then again, I realized how important it was for you to have a good team to grow a business. So I was learning very different things at the same time, growing a business, building a team, having someone sharing your vision and your mission of what you wanted to do. And little by little, I got more involved with working with NGOs and charities, and youth associations from the society that wanted to do something for their community, or professional associations. And I have the opportunity to come back to the UK in 2012, and I was working for a great charity running a project called Home Share. It's all about the sharing economy, where we were matching elderly people looking for accommodation, elderly people looking for support in their homes, and young people looking for accommodation and willing to help. So that was also a great experience, and we made this charity sustainable, and we got big grants, and we were able to publicize this charity at national level here in the UK. And just seeing all this movement, again, I went back to my roots, to entrepreneurship and learning, and keep on doing all the PR I had to do. So if you think my journey as entrepreneur was very different, I think I learned from the many different industries until I came to one single idea where I can put everything I know, all my passions together, but at the same time, I'm helping the new generation, which is really what inspires me every single day. And that's how I founded Empowering Futures. So basically it's a concept that we all have something to give and something to get. So entrepreneurs, we struggle when we're growing our companies, and we need an extra helping hand. And the thing that we spend the most time with is marketing and promotion and engagement, because that's going to be big part of our efforts that we need to concentrate on. And then as a student, like I said, students that really learn by doing. and you get so much experience and knowledge and confidence because you know you're able to perform at a professional level. So basically what we do at Empowering Futures, we match entrepreneurs with university students to collaborate on marketing projects. They are targeted marketing projects. They collaborate for 120 hours during 3 months. So that's about a day a week, next 3 months. And we as Empowering Futures coach and mentor the students to be able to deliver the project successfully. So the entrepreneur gets an extra helping hand, gets a project done, and the student gets a really good work experience with targets. So it's not just any work experience, but actually it's an experience that is going to push them to do their best and get the best start in their career.
Wow. Oh, thank you, because that's a lot of like learning from what you share. So let's pick up the point that you mentioned that you had that entrepreneur mindset and you saw the needs of student, because you were like student and you learn by doing, and you also saw that like the other entrepreneur, they have something they want to actually learn, like managing team or something. So you matching the needs of two different targets, customer, let's say. So how did you find out that passion and commit to that? Because I believe entrepreneur normally have maybe a lot of ideas, and it's kind of hard to stick with one idea, especially with very innovative and creative entrepreneurs. So how did you kind of like really stick to that passion and stay in that game for long?
That's a great question, because I think I'm able to stick to the passion and really be committed to this project because I was in both positions. I was a student once, and when I was a student, I had the opportunity to meet an entrepreneur and change my role model. And I just wanted to be like her, and she really gave me that confidence that I could do things, that I could work, and I could be my own leader, my own boss. So that was very important for my life, and I think that opportunity when I was at university was super important for me to be where I am right now. And then when I had my first business, which was PR, public relations, as that was my background, I realized the importance of having a business, or having a team, and how that was crucial for the business. Having a team that supports and believes in your mission, your vision, your passion is the most important asset of your business. You can have lots of money, but if you don't have a team, you have nothing, because you can do things by yourself. So because I had that experience myself, I went out there and I thought, okay, is the same for everybody or it was just for me? So talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, talking to a lot of students from different backgrounds, different countries, I realized that actually it's a need that we have in different markets. And I've been very passionate about it because now more than ever, like I said, in the sharing economy, collaboration is essential for everybody. And because competition is so hard, networks are very important. So be able to teach the new students how to build those networks and be able to collaborate with other entrepreneurs to help, their future employees, the new talent, it's something that I'm really passionate about.
Wow. Okay, so a lot of things to take. Let's pick up the point you mentioned on the entrepreneur role model. So how did you meet that role model and how she impact on you? And what do you think? Do you have any advice for young people to somehow find a mentor or role model in the early age?
Yeah, that's really good. Well, I met her when I was studying English. So I didn't speak any English until I was 16, 17. So I wasn't that young when I started learning English. And basically, she was my English teacher. But she wanted to have her own English second language school. So I saw her from the scratch to build a school for herself. So that was a very powerful experience for myself to see that young woman, entrepreneurial, kind, and also very pretty and just very sociable. And I think that became my vision for my life as well. And that's how I met her basically. So that's why I always think as well, teachers, they have such a big impact in their students and they don't even know it.
Yeah. So did you tell her?
Yeah, and I'm still in touch with her. It's been now over 12 years, and
Wow.
I still in touch with her, and she's great, and she's great with her businesses as well. So you keep that relationship with your mentor. My advice for students and for anybody any age, if you want to do something, go get or try to talk to people that have already done it. They are
Yeah.
just your best mentors,
Yeah.
you know. Or look at yourself and think very honestly, I think these are the skills I need to develop, or I want experience in this sector. You know, we only have one lifetime, and we only have 4 hours a day, so we
Yeah.
cannot do absolutely everything we want.
Mhm.
But to be able to do it for, I would say, through the experience of others is super important.
Mhm.
So getting a mentor is vital.
Wow. Okay, so how did you get your mentor? At that time it's one. So do you have any other mentor? And is any other way that you think get mentor? You mentioned on networking. Is it a good way? And do you have any advice for making the best out networking? Also getting mentor. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing my biggest advice for networking is be genuinely interested about people.
Mm.
Because sometimes we go to the networking events and we just have our idea. I want this, I want this, I want this. But actually, if you actually listen to people, their stories, and sometimes you might be thinking, oh, I'm able to help you. And you help them because you can, not because you're going to get anything in return. And sometimes those connections are the most powerful connections. And you never know, 3 months later, 5 months later, you might be able to say, oh, actually I met this person and I need this information now. And they might know someone that knows someone. So it's all about the network, like I said, but it starts with genuinely interest about someone else and not just what you need.
Wow. Okay. So beautiful. Did you learn it from something or book or people? How did you practice that being genuine, being interested in others?
I don't know. I think I really honestly I just like people, and
Ah.
I'm fascinated about what they do and why they do it.
Mhm.
And I think it's a little bit of psychology going around that I have that I like.
Mhm.
So I like to listen to people, and when they have ideas, I'm like, how did you come up with that idea? Like how? So I like to really listen to their experiences as well. And also, not everybody is going to be nice, and not everybody wants to share, but the ones that want, just make the best out of it. If you meet someone and you feel you really like this person because they are genuine, they have an interesting story, listen to them and share their story, and you never know when someone else is going to do that for you.
Wow, lovely. The power of giving first and having first. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know if you believe in this, but obviously I always think you get what you give.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and I think
actually I
that's
learned from my siblings. Yeah, really.
yeah, and I think that's my mantra as well. Obviously, my parents had a lot to do with it. I think my parents are very kind people,
Mhm.
and they work really hard. But they always told me treat everybody the same.
Yeah. Powerful. So that is your entrepreneur journey. We will go back a bit. So how did cheating contribute to that sense? Do you think that the cheapening experience somehow contribute a lot to that? And how did you make the best out of that experience with your career?
Yeah, I think it did definitely, and still it does. I think one of my most powerful networks is the Chevening Alumni Network, and
Oh.
I would say very honored to be one of the co-founders and now the chair of the board of directors of the Chevening Alumni Alliance. And having that network allows me to create better things, to connect people from around the world still. So 10 years after my scholarship, I still have that international experience, that international feeling. And really, I admire all the Cheveners doing great things in their communities, in different industries. It could be, obviously, some of them entrepreneurs, but not all of them. Some of them work for the government, some of them are artists, some of them are scientists, some of them, they are advocates themselves for human rights, and I just find it fascinating. So, and academics as well. So it's a great network, and it really transformed your life. Once you know your Chevening, I could share a few stories where I met other Chevenings and I was working in maybe projects in my own community, and the minute we identified we were Chevenings, things were easier. We had this connection.
Yeah,
We
we had
had,
the set of community, right?
Exactly, that's feeling of community, and right now that's our biggest social capital. That's why I'm always advocating for, getting together as cheveners, because that's what's gonna make the difference in our lives. Sometimes only you want to ask a question, and you don't need anything. Just 10 minutes, one question, one answer, and you're like, wow, that's great. I'm gonna go research it, and then you continue your day, and I think that's absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. So you emphasize on continuous learning and keep seeking and understanding, and then we can actually learn and apply and yeah, make a result from that. So how did you achieve that cheating scholarship? Did you have any kind of like advice or any memories about that you think gonna be beneficial for our future achievement who going to apply? Yeah, they may wonder about how did you prepare application, how did you enter the interview? Yeah, do you remember any of these?
Well, yeah, I do actually. For me, I think it took me a year, a whole year. I first did some research about the universities in the UK
Wow.
where I wanted to study. I applied for three of them, and I found out about the scholarship, and I went and asked to many people as I knew, and I asked through, I think it was social media as well, if anyone wanted before, and I was trying to look in my networks and I had no one in my network,
Oh.
but I was able to meet someone else, and that time they were working for the British Council,
Oh.
and yeah, they were able to give me some information about the application process. And so basically I really invested time in writing my essay, thinking, okay, what am I going to do after, why I really wanted it.
Ah.
And one thing I remember as well is going and asking for my references,
Ah.
thinking, okay, who can back me up? And I was looking doors, and I was young. I did have some work experience. Obviously, I have over 2 years work experience, but I don't think my network was that big. It was quite small back then, and yeah, just getting the right reference was very important. Someone that could also support me when I was going back. So a reference for me was one of the in that time one of the ministers of education in my state.
Wow.
And I was telling him why I wanted the scholarship, and I was a very young lecturer as well, and I thought I need to do a second degree, a master degree, to be able to come back and teach again. So yeah, that it was a long journey, but it was totally worth it.
Wow.
So I know, guys, if anyone applying and if they are watching this, it's long. It's applications, interviews as well. I was super nervous in the interview, but just be yourself. Remember why you really want this scholarship, and think about what benefit you can give to your country.
Wow, thank you. So again, all achievers sharing the same point about contribution and be yourself, because that is your advantage. So my friends, be yourself and make contribution. So you mentioned also about asking for references. So just go and ask, and then we have answers. So let's talk about your future plan at that time, and actually your plan after that. Is it the same or different?
No, I think it was different. So anyway, I did go back to Mexico for 6 years first because I really wanted my heart. That was something that I wanted to do. But then I realized that I did meet my dreams and my targets in 5 years. So then it was like, wow, then I have to create new targets and new dreams and new things.
Yeah.
And I think that was really good. And obviously, I created new dreams and new targets and bigger things, and it evolves as well. And nowadays, the market is evolving so fast that I think realistically you can create, targets. The long term is 3 years. Used to be 5 to 10 years. Now I think long term is 3 years, and then you have to adapt.
Yeah. Wow, you share that you achieved it in like 5 years. So what beautiful. So how did you have that kind of like really, I would say, so successful transition from the achieving like journey until your real life? Do you meet any difficulties when you go back, because maybe after studying and now the real life, and you had that kind of like really big dream? Did you have that kind of like challenges at that time, and how did you deal with
Yeah, I think, do you know what? It happens to everybody. You have the reverse culture shock.
it? Yeah, here we go. I love that point. Yeah. How did
You know, it happens to everybody, and then you're
yeah.
missing your friends, and you're missing all this wonderful, magical year. So it was difficult. And again, once again, I did not have contacts back in Mexico when I went back, and I didn't go back to my hometown, but I went back to the big, scary Mexico City, and starting from zero was total, I would say stress and panic, and I was doubting myself sometimes. So I think the thing that helped me the best was to try to reach out again to networks and asking people. And one friend, a Chevener as well, just gave me guidance. Oh, you should go here, you should go there. This is how things work, because she was from Mexico City. So that was a very valuable source of information for me. And it happens to everybody, so nobody should feel sad about it. It's just part of the process. I would say the best thing to do is, to retake things, to remember why you did it, be very grateful of this great experience, and think, wow, I can do so much more for my country now because I have this experience. And and start from there. But it happens to everybody.
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I also help with the different scholars, and some like took like 6 months, or some like 1 year reverse culture shock. Yeah. So yeah, the networking and asking again, not isolate ourselves, right?
Yeah, and you know what as well? Keep in touch with the UK. I mean, if you have the opportunity to keep in touch, do it. So you don't feel that you disconnect completely. You don't.
It's like I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So try to keep some connections. Maybe try to help other, tuners from the past, contact them from past generations, or as well try to see if there are any, British Chamber of Commerce, and you can do something with them. So there are a lot of ways to keep in touch, so you don't feel that so harsh. Because I think that's the first thing. It's just so harsh. It's like, oh, it was like a flash in your life. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and it's a wonderful experience. So it's kind of like, yeah. No, thank you for sharing. So even though that's why they send a lot of emails that keep in touch and in the alumni, to be in that network, to feel that sense of still. Yeah. So wow. Now after that how did you decide to go to the UK? Why the UK? Is it because of tuning or the opportunity? And how did you realize that next vision for yourself here?
Can you repeat the last question, please?
Yeah, how did you find the next vision for yourself, because you achieved, so maybe you already achieved what you wanted, and maybe you go to the comfort zone, I would say, like when people are successful, they may stay successful, and so how did you have that kind of step out and go to the next level?
Yeah, well, I think for me it was kind of like one of these, how can I say, very, very important moments in your life. I could say I felt like I've done everything I could with my past dream, but I needed new targets to be again inspired, to be again motivated, and keep on learning. And I think that only happens where you have a moment where you stop and you reflect.
Okay. Thank you.
So I did have a few months where, I mean, obviously I was working and everything, but basically I was just reflecting and planning. What is that I like? What do I want for my life? What's my vision for my life? I learned all this much. I was, about to be 30, and then I had to start thinking, okay, I'm 30. What's the basics? What do I want to live for my life? I know there are sometimes very big questions, and sometimes maybe I'm just thoughtful. I don't know. I thought, okay, what's the purpose of my life?
Wow.
And just think about it. And it doesn't have to come right away. Sometimes it does, and sometimes months. Yeah. Sometimes it's a year.
But we need to start really like questioning and reflecting what we have done and what really meaning of life.
Yeah. And sometimes I think the real me, and that's my own personal point of view. Obviously, it's not for everybody, but at the end, the purpose of life is to be happy,
Yeah.
right? So, what makes us happy, and then we have to find that thing that makes us happy, and that we feel fulfilled. And for me, I feel helping others, developing, creating things, connecting people, seeing things happen, that makes me really happy. So that's how I decided, okay, this is the way I have to do it, because that's what makes me happy. That's what I will continue time and time and time, and I'm not going to get bored, because I always see new connections, new things happening, new creations. I meet entrepreneurs all the time. I meet students all the time starting their life. So that inspires me every single day, and that's why I do it.
Wow, lovely. So you do something that you make you really truly happy and you contributing. And as you mentioned that, yeah, you'll never ever stop learning and growing as a person. So.
I tried.
Yeah. All right. So lovely. You what you so do you have any like inspirational shots? Have you to keep going on a journey? Books or people, any kind of thing like that to help you stay in the journey?
Well, one thing, I when I was very, very young, I worked for Disney as well.
Oh.
And when I went through the training that they gave me to be a trainer, actually, because I was a trainer at Disney, it was very, very hard for me, very, very hard. But they gave me this little frame that said, never, never give up.
Oh. Wow.
And it's a little piece of ceramic, it's a little portrait like this big. And I carry it with me everywhere I go, because really, if you do you do your best, you give your best, you will achieve. And I think that is something that I have with me in my life, to not give up. Sometimes maybe you have a plan and you have to change that plan to make it happen.
Oh.
So don't give up, change your plan.
So you keep the purpose, the outcome, but you change the plans to achieve that.
Exactly. So the purpose and the goal is there.
All right.
How you do it?
Yeah, be flexible. Wow, thank you. That's so true, because sometimes I think we get addicted to the plan, not to the outcome, the goal that we actually want, but then things changes. Yeah.
It's a journey. And this weekend, actually, I want to share something very, very personal with you guys. This weekend, I was with one of my very best friends, and we decided to go on this walk, very long trekking walk, from a place called Folkestone to Dover, through the white cliffs of Dover. We had no map, and we had no plan. We knew that there was about 14 miles to go. That's the only thing we knew. And we thought, okay, it will take about 3 to 4 hours to get there if we just go in a good pace. But that experience this week reminded me that we knew the destination, we didn't know how to do it. We got lost so many times.
Oh, now it's
we
beautiful.
just got lost so many times, and then we were talking, okay, we need to cut we need to cut by going through this cliff. So we were scaling, we trekked all the way up. We got to the middle of the mountain, and there was no way up. That was it. And we were like, oh my God, we'll go back again. So that happened 3 times.
Wow.
So at the end, we made it. We made it to Dover. We had the biggest meal ever.
Well
and it was like, I had one of the best days the whole year, because it was such a nice experience to be around nature as well. But again, it reminded me, I only knew the destination. I didn't know anything about the journey. If they told me I'm going to get lost so many times, maybe I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, beautiful message from that story. Like, yeah. If you had the dedication to the goal, and you just gonna get to the game, and you will find a way, right?
Yeah, and then I have to confess as well, there was 2 miles left. 2 miles left to get to Dover, and we said, like, we need to take a bus now.
Oh, you almost give up, yeah.
Yeah, but we were really decided we need to get to Dover. There is no way, we need to get there.
Wow.
We said we were going to do it, and yeah, and we eventually made it.
Oh, congratulations! So did you celebrate after that?
With a big meal, yes.
Big meal. So you also, like Laura also mentioned before, like if you knew know the way it's like gonna be lost, a lot of things gonna happen like that, you probably even not trying. So that's so important that we not focusing on that, but we focusing on the end goal and keep that going, right? Yeah.
Yes, and for example, with my own company now, with Empowering Futures,
Yeah.
sometimes we know that our main is support students with the social mobility, so support students from minority backgrounds. At the same time, develop the skills of young entrepreneurs so they can be the managers and the business leaders for the future. And it goes, hand in hand. So we know that, but we are learning every day how to make our program better. Maybe we'll produce a new program as well next year to actually help and get to more students and more entrepreneurs. And that's the goal. How we're gonna do it, we're all the time working on how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, but then you know you're gonna not commit to that goal, right? Wow. Thank you. So it's late for Laura now, and we're gonna catch up back with Laura soon for another interview. And thank you for sharing about the story of hiking on. So that's a beautiful one.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. It's great to see your energy as well.
Yeah.
Your smile, I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much. I'm really happy to share.
Yeah, have any other message for our friends today? Any other last message? Yeah.
Well, I think my last message is like, look for that purpose, for that goal in your life. How you're gonna get there, you don't know, but enjoy the journey.
Wow, lovely, powerful. So commit to that purpose, and you're gonna get there. Yeah. And don't forget that you also have Laura and a lot of her friends in the network. Just keep in touch if it is okay. Yeah, I put your details.
Yeah, of course.
And,
please feel free to connect with me, and I'm happy to chat with all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Laura. And
my pleasure, Jan. Thank you for inviting me, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, keep in touch.
Thanks for watching, my friends, and don't forget to support the channel by subscribing so I can share with you more tools and techniques in the next videos, and put all the tools and techniques into practice to advance your life, and share with us what are your tips. And download this guide, One Page Achiever, the tool to help you to plan your day, take control of your day, to increase your productivity. And make sure you grab my book, Nonstop, Loving, Living and Giving Every Single Moment of Life. Beautiful story about my sibling. And the Goal Achiever, the ultimate 9 steps to help you to achieve a personal goal, particularly a full scholarship. And this guide unleash your passion to help you free your mind, free your doubts, free your fears, free your limiting beliefs, to live with passion, with vibrant, with full potential every moment of life. I see you in the next videos. Don't forget to non-stop living meaningfully, loving openly, and giving joyfully every moment of life. Love you.